All right, this was a massive wake-up call for my marriage. In their book, 8 Dates, the Gottmans, who have been studying marriage for over 40 years, said this that blew me away. Page 172, playfulness is as necessary a quality as fidelity to keep your relationship vital and thriving. Isn't that crazy to think about? I mean, there's so many issues that couples are struggling with. Intimacy problems, connection issues, neglect, invalidation, fighting, disrespect. The list goes on and on, right? Why place any importance on playfulness? Well, because it's all connected. And I can understand how that could trigger a lot of people who have potentially been sexually betrayed in their past. So let me explain. I obviously don't think they mean that not being playful is the same thing as cheating, or not being playful is some sort of justification for them cheating. That is not true. There is no justifications for cheating, ever. I think the message is this: commitment to the marriage doesn't simply equal not cheating on each other. Faithfulness is more than simply not getting divorced, right? Commitment means purposely pursuing and cultivating an environment of intimacy and growth and connection and vulnerability and friendship. I mean, millions of marriages die every day, and there was no cheating. And the reason they died was because there was no friendship, no emotional connection, no playfulness. There was no mutual intentional move towards having fun together again, dating each other again. And that is just as important to faithfulness and commitment as fidelity is. And I wish I would have paid attention to the warning signs in my marriage before we let it drift so far away from each other. I mean, we didn't flirt with each other. We didn't have a friendship. We weren't intentional about sexual intimacy or playfulness because we were busy, right? I mean, you know what it's like to be busy with work, busy with kids, or life was just stressful. That's not an excuse to drift apart. That's not an excuse to avoid the issues developing in your marriage. That's not an excuse to not check in with each other and be putting off hard conversations when one person feels disconnected or neglected or hurt. Playfulness and intimacy and friendship and affection and having fun together again are oftentimes indicators of the underlying strength in the relationship. So let me ask you, how's your relationship? Because when the playfulness evaporates, sex usually follows. And with it goes connection and trust and intimacy, doesn't it? It's all connected. So let's start paying attention. Let's start being curious. Let's start being intentional. And let's get help when those warning signs start flashing in our relationships.